So today we've got the Samsung S10. We're going to try and replace the screen on that one. What I'm going to do first is going to heat up the back of this phone so that we can take the back off first and get access. We've got two cracks down at the bottom here, and that is causing the customer some issues. So we've got a replacement screen here. Now we get the Samsung official packs, and we are going to replace all the internals into this pack here. This type of repair would normally cost you in most repair shops around about £250, £260, around about there. I believe the part is in our store for around about £210 roughly. Right, without much further ado, let's go and get that on the heat. As soon as that's heated up, we'll get cracking on with the back. Maybe poor choice of words there. And we'll eventually get a camera set up over there so that you guys can check on what's happening over there with our heat pad and our laser and stuff like that. Just gotta wait and bide our time. Alright. Nice and warm. So I've got a tool here that's formerly known as a spudger, but we've sort of sharpened the edge off of it over time, and I suppose it's more and more useful just in the shape that it's in. So if you've got any yourself, you might want to do that. I'm going to go in from the side here, apply a little bit of pressure but not too much. It's still quite stiff. I think I'll put that on for more heat. So the type of tools that you're going to need for this job is definitely spudgers, and guitar picks possibly, and definitely the Phillips screwdriver. And of course, good old fashioned set tweezers. Let's heat up nice now. Don't tend to get an awful lot of Samsungs in store because of, well, how much they are to repair. Right, so now that that's heated up nicely, we're starting to get access into the back. And I've got my Magic Pry tool here. I'm just going to keep working away at the edges until they come clear. Don't hesitate to ask any questions if you've got any. I'll answer them as best as I can. You might be able to hear the glue starting to separate now. So heat really is your friend on this back one. I'm starting to feel resistance now, so pop it back on and give it a few more minutes. Hi Phoenix, how you doing? Hi Phoenix, how you doing? That's another minute or two there. So continuing to apply little bits of pressure and heating up little bits at a time. We're going to continue to get this bark off. You could go the quick way and just snap it off and then put on a new bark, but when the screen already costs so much, that's really the last thing you want to do. And then you try and save money in every little bit that you can. As you can see, we're starting to get an opening now. Start working up the way there. Much easier. That's it, starting to come. And that'll be it cracked, so we'll be replacing the bark on this anyway. It just shows how easy it is. Even with a slowly approach. And that'd be your woes of being live. Every time you go live, something goes wrong. When it comes to replacing the bark, you probably pick them up off our store for roughly around about a tenner, I should imagine. So the barks aren't too bad, they're not too integral. The only thing you've got to be careful of with most Samsung barks is whether they've got fingerprint sensors attached to them or not. Right, so let's try that again. It's been put on a few times and the glue still doesn't want to give way, but it's coming. Right, so we did crack the back there. We will be replacing that. Don't like a job half done. So you've got your Phillips screws in. And we're going to transfer everything inside into this device here, into the screen. Now, our screens come with the full frame attached, so it is literally transferring your motherboard straight across, your battery across, which again is another pain to do. I've just got a customer come in, so I'm just going to go on a quick intermission whilst I go and deal with the customer. Just got a customer come in, so I'm just going to go on a quick intermission whilst I go and deal with the customer. Our screens come with the full frame attached, so it Hi guys. Right, so the Samsung S10, the SMG 973 FS/DS, which stands for dual SIM, and that's about it. You're looking at remove screws here. And transfer everything across. I think that's where I was at before I had to go and help out. So we've got 4 across the top, 4 across the centre top, 2 centre bottom, or 3 centre bottom should say, and then should be 4 at the bottom again. I think I was saying before I got called away there that really everything else is pretty easy to switch across. The only other pain is the battery, which you don't want to flex and move too much. Now you can use alcohol, isopropyl, to remove the battery. It certainly makes it easier, but I haven't got any of that today, so I shall be using good old-fashioned heat, which is probably what most people would use from home, being a hairdryer. Fortunately I've got the heat mat, so that's what I'll be using. Now, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with my screws there. And certainly if I zoom out, maybe you'll be able to see. I think they're all above my face there. I'm sort of setting them out in the order that I'm taking them out. This here is your wireless charger, and it is attached to this top protector here and also to the bottom, but you can disassemble and disattach from there. A bit of heat or a bit of prying, it will come apart. There she is. And the bottom. Just going to take the SIM tray out here. You can do that before. Definitely before taking the motherboard out and transferring, otherwise you'll cause more damage than good. Right, so looking around the phone, we've got front facing camera, speaker, right about here on the underside is where the SIM tray is held. Your volume buttons connect in here, power button, quick button, you've got your LCD connector here, battery connector there, this little chap with the J50 on it. I don't know if you can see that J50. It's not the best of views today, I don't know what's going on with my camera. That's maybe a bit better. I'll bring it down a bit lower, get tighter in. So yeah, battery connector, volume buttons, LCD, and this here is what makes your phone vibrate. This here is your headphone jack and then your charger. Now normally the board comes in two sections within the Samsung, but it seems on the S10 that it's come in one section. So we shall have to remove a couple of screws to allow it off. Right. So I'm going to take some parts out first. That'll be in the front camera. I've just been called away, so give me 2 seconds, I'll pop it back on intermission. And I'm back. Right. I'm not liking the camera quality that's coming out today, but it's something I'll get sorted. Right, so just going around the board, disconnecting a few bits and pieces, such as the front camera, the battery, the LCD, and the charging port and things. A headphone jack. Basically anything that can be moved will be moved, as we are transferring all of the internals across from one screen to the other. There we go. So what I've done there is the SIM pin that's held in place there to eject the SIM card and SD card holder. I've just depressed that back in and used the tweezers as a little bit of for a little bit of leverage to allow me to move the motherboard. Tiny bit back and forth, rather than up and down. Back and forth just allows you to get the whole board out. Here is the SIM tray holder, as mentioned before. And if you check that whole part there, that is to do with your rear cameras, which you can see popping out the side here. Right, so I've got speaker transferred across already. If I just put them back to back, and just seeing anything else that needs to come across. Obviously the battery needs to come across, the vibrator needs to come across, and the headphone jack needs to come across, and then we should be good to put everything back together. I'm going to go and place this on the heat to allow me access to manoeuvre the battery out of there. So whilst that's on the heat, I'll go over a couple of things that's happening at the shop. I don't know if you've been looking on Facebook lately, but we've turned part of the front of the shop into almost like an internet cafe sort of thing. So for all those local kids that are bored, we've got a couple of PlayStations, and hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow we'll have a couple of refurbished Xboxes going up in the front section of the shop for them guys to come in and play. And we look forward to being able to host some tournaments. Other things going on at the shop, there's a link in the description of this video that should take you to the website. Anyone that's been keeping an eye on our website will notice that it is growing and growing and growing pretty much daily, thanks to a good friend called Pete. He is inserting all the parts and pieces to be able to sell on the website, so that any repair you've seen me doing here, you'll be able to do yourself at home as well. Right, let's start off the heat. Just going to go around, try and pry anywhere that'll let me pry. Use something a bit thinner. There we go, we've got a bit of access in there. I'm just going to swivel it around because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to try and get underneath. This, and just gently work our way at it. There we go. Moving on the glue. Right. Now the vibrator is the bit that people tend to break the most. Best thing to do is go in at the side underneath with a pair of tweezers and pop it up. It should just come up in one fell swoop. Next is the headphone jack, so go inside the headphone jack and push up from the inside slightly with the tweezers, and it should just pop out of place like so. I believe that was everything we had to move across. Just going to put them side by side again. All sorted. Right, so that can officially go in the bin. That's the battery back in place. Vibrator back in place. Headphone jack, just slide it down and in. Yeah, it'll click straight into place. Right, so now we're on to the motherboard. There we go. Right, now we can screw that back down. So we had the two screws at the bottom and one at the top. So, two next to the charging port. And one on this L looking thing just below the speaker. There we go, putting all the flexes down, so that's the LCD flex down, the headphone jack down, front facing camera, try and be careful not to actually press on the front facing camera and leave a smudge. There we are. Now all that's left to do is the battery. Turn this round and on. We have beautiful pictures. Now all that's left to do is put everything back on and then wait for everything to glue back in place because I shall need to put a new back on there. Which I shall do for a different video, I think. Right, so 4 at the top. So now that we're closing up, if there's any questions about Samsung related fixes or iPhone related fixes, fire away. Thing I tend to get asked the most is, do I fix iPads? The answer to that is yes, I do. Do I like them? No, I don't. Mainly because I get covered in glass, absolutely covered in it, little tiny shards. But you do get the occasional one that comes apart all right. So the hope was to be live later on with the Xboxes that we bought off of eBay, part of that sort of internet cafe feel to the shop, that we were going to refurbish. So what we've done is we've paid about 50-60 quid each for, I believe they're Xbox One S's. Two have got HDMI issues and one has got a power issue. So the hope was to be able to put those on stream today so that everyone could see. But I think I'm running short on time today. There we go. That's all. Right, thanks for watching. I shall try and get more exciting repairs on and definitely fix this camera. I don't know what's going on with the autofocus, but we'll get that fixed.